Hi there, have you been confused about the best diet for weight management? Today I'm going to take you through protein, carbohydrate, and fat and clear up some of the confusion. There's so many diets out there that claim to be low fat, but they're high carb, or diets that are low carb, but they're high fat. How do you balance those two so your body gets what it needs, especially the protein you need? Let's take a look. So this is the confusion between low carb and low fat. What we want to do is find a balance in between. So what are the common low-fat diets? Well, a moderately low-fat diet is less than 30% fat. A very low-fat diet is 15 to 25% fat. And low-carb diets, on the other hand, a moderate low-carb diet is 100 to 150 grams a day. Now, you may not know this, but the typical American eats over 300 calories a day of carbohydrate. And today I saw a dietitian article that Americans need 2,000 calories per day plus 225 to 325 calories. That's enough to have the average woman gain 50 pounds a year. So don't take that advice. Go with moderate carbohydrate, 100 to 150 grams a day. And let's take a look at the ketogenic diet. That's less than 50 grams a day. Now, there's nothing wrong with that diet if you can do it. However, for most people, 50 grams a day is too restrictive. You can't get in your 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables that you need every day to get the healthy phytonutrients that you need in your body. So what can we do to get better balance? Let's take a look. Protein comes first. The body protein is turning over all day. And so you need the protein RDA every day. The recommended dietary allowance for protein is a minimum. You should actually get 1 gram per pound of lean mass or 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight. Excess calories increase body fats, but not all calories are the same. A gram of protein is only 4 calories. A gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories, and a gram of fat is 9 calories. But did you know that it takes a lot of calories to incorporate that protein? You only get about 80% of the calories you eat. In fruits and vegetables, there's fiber to reduce the absorption and metabolism of those calories. So again, they're good, but refined carbohydrates and sugar, they go right to fat. The only time you should be having refined carbohydrates is when you're doing endurance exercise and your muscle needs that instant energy. So let's take a look at what you can do in lowering fat or carbs and how it affects the diet. Well, what I recommend is about a 30% protein diet, 25% fat, and 20% carbohydrate. Now, you'll notice that doesn't add up to 100%. That's 55, that's 75%. Where does the other 25%? That comes from your body fat. So if you keep protein constant, you can choose moderate fat restriction or moderate carbohydrate restriction of the diet while you're burning fat from your body using exercise and your diet and keep your overall diet at 100%. Now, what about fasting? A lot of people think if you stop eating, you're going to lose a lot of weight. Well, that's true, but when you're fasting, you actually will lose muscle mass, which you don't want to do because that lowers your metabolism. When you start eating again, you'll gain weight. So let's take a look at how that works. Every night when you go to sleep, your body begins to increase ketone bodies made in the liver from fatty acids broken down from your fat stores. Insulin begins to drop and you break down glycogen from the liver and the muscle. Fat burning and ketone production starts during sleep. However, when you're doing this, your muscle is making glucose for 2 areas, your brain and your red blood cells. All your other organs can use ketones, but the brain and the red blood cells need a lot of glucose. So you burn down about 75 grams of muscle during your sleep. That's why you need to replace it during the morning when breakfast is the most important meal of the day. That's why we recommend a protein-rich shake with 20 to 30 grams in the morning to replace that muscle that you've lost at night. So what about, how do you fast? Well, some people want to fast 16 hours, only eat for 8 hours. I think a reasonable program from my point of view is a 12-hour eating window, say 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. You'll cut out about 600 to 700 calories of after-dinner eating when you're sitting on the couch stressed out. And most of those are junk foods. So what you want to do is have a 12-hour fasting period, a 12-hour eating period. During the 12 hours of fasting, your ketones will start to build up between 4 and 12 hours. Also, when you wake up, you need to have that protein for breakfast to replace the muscle you lost during sleep. And then you need to do some resistance exercise to retain your muscle mass and drink 6 to 8 glasses of water per day to aid digestion. So let's put it all together and simplify it. We start with the protein, 1 gram per pound of lean body mass that you measure on a bioimpedance meter, or you estimate it by 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight. Then you add in 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables, which are high carbohydrate, but good carbohydrate. Then you minimize refined carbohydrates and sugar from processed foods, but you can have sugar while you're exercising. And finally, focus on healthy fats in moderation, such as nuts, seeds, avocado, and fatty fish, or fish oil supplements, rather than the hidden fats in processed foods. So by putting it all together, I hope you have a better understanding now of what the whole diet looks like and all the interactions of the different individual nutrients. This is Dr. Dave Heber. We'll see you next time.